Cheap travel items to bring with you on your next trip. JetBlue is getting sued and Spirit goes away. What are the repercussions? All of that coming up right now on MTM Travel.
Greyhound passengers coming to a Southwest flight near you.
So happy Tuesday, everyone. Spirit Airlines has gone away. And let's just start this off, Mark, by saying that I never have to hear you talking about going to the airport to save on Spirit Airlines fees ever again.
Well, I mean, it still works for Frontier, Allegiant, it still works for everybody else. So it's something we'll talk about from time to time. But yeah, I don't enjoy flying those as much. Well, Allegiant only flies out of Flint. Frontier is probably my least favorite airline. I know you love them so much, and it's not Frontier so much. It's just the people that fly Frontier. That sounds terrible, but it's just they're usually just rude and trying to race that down the aisle. And I don't know. It's what everybody thinks Spirit is what I always get on Frontier. And that might just be my bad luck. It's just the way it works out.
I mean, the videos are clear, Mark. It's Spirit Airlines. I mean, you see all these Spirit videos of people fighting. You don't see Frontier videos of people fighting, although I 100% agree with you about the clientele on Frontier. I don't love them or hate them. They just were the best option for me for many years, where I'm getting $19 flights down to Florida, and they always delivered me on time, and the experience was fine. But I did find both those airlines had less experienced travelers, and that was a different sort of passenger experience than being on one of the major carriers.
Yeah, and this was something we talked about when I was trying to book Spirit flights to New York to get to Bermuda, and the fear of I didn't want to transfer built points over because you're turning the most valuable currency out there into something that's less valuable than what else you could use built points for. And then if something happens, we cancel the flight, book something else, whatever it be, I'm stuck with those Spirit miles and they expire quickly. They weren't in the best financial position. So I was worried about it. So that's why I shifted to signing up for the credit card to try to get it that way. I was able to get that within a month and move quickly. But had I waited the full 3 months to try to line this all up, I would have maybe gotten the miles and then they got taken away, or the card would have been defunct before I even earned the sign up bonus. So that's a whole mess too. And I feel bad for anybody that had miles in there and got stranded, as well as anybody that works for Spirit. But I got an email from Bank of America that said, "Hey, you can still use your card." I'm like, who's gonna use this card if you're not earning anything? That's just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, they need to get that converted pretty quickly. I mean, they're just trying to save customers, but you're right. I mean, what are you earning? You're earning a worthless point that it doesn't even exist. A lot of people in the wider space talking about Spirit Airlines this week because of the political. Everything has to become political in today's age. And I mean, and this is a very politically driven bankruptcy or disappearance of an airline. And it starts a few years ago when they're trying to merge, right? They're trying to merge with Frontier starting off. And I think that merger would have been, I think, really good for the airline industry and everything in the U.S. But then JetBlue comes in and they bid more than Frontier. And the government ultimately determines that JetBlue cannot merge with Spirit because it would raise prices, which when there's no Spirit left, then maybe they should have let that happen.
Well, do you think that we just are watching JetBlue go under now instead of Spirit? I don't think JetBlue's in the best financial shape, and they had their hand out asking for money too, which we talked about last week. So I don't know. I feel like if Spirit had merged with JetBlue, JetBlue would be months away from insolvency too. Maybe that's just a guess on my part, but it didn't look like that would be the greatest pairing. And they were going to raise rates. Their whole goal there was take over the Spirit routes and just jack up the rates. So I don't think that would have been a good fit. But yeah, I think Frontier and Spirit, if anybody's to blame for this failure, it's JetBlue, right? Aren't they the worst? They're the evildoers here. Because if Spirit and Frontier got together, I think that they would have been more viable.
Yeah, and as you point out, JetBlue, there's rumors now that they may be going into bankruptcy, that may be coming in the next few weeks as well as rising jet prices happen. And that's the other political argument people are making, is that the war in Iran has driven up oil prices, and that's what caused Spirit to go out of business. And indeed, that is true. That is why Spirit went out of business, but they were already in their second bankruptcy in a few years, trying to, 1 mile at a time. Ben has a great article where he kind of goes into this and says, hey, this company probably wasn't going to survive anyway. They didn't have a viable plan, in his opinion. And so, yes, the nail in the coffin was certainly the oil prices, but there's a whole history of a company struggling And maybe this is proof that the business model just doesn't work in the US. I think we've already seen that as Spirit, Frontier, Southwest, they've all sort of moved away from their basic seating, adding extra legroom, more premium options. He also had a good article just talking about why does Ryanair work in the UK or some of the low-cost carriers in Asia, and why aren't the low-cost carriers working in the US? Route networks and credit cards.
Yeah, and this was an interesting point made by a commenter on the last video when we talked about this last week. Is that Allegiant has been successful in some of the other ones in the US because they focus on third tier cities that nobody else is covering. Like I said, I'd have to go to Flint to fly Allegiant, and Flint they fly Flint to down to Punta Gorda, Florida. That's where my parents always fly that route. They're the only airline in either airport, I believe, and that's kind of what Ryanair does. And I recently talked about flying them out of Warsaw and going to Dublin, and we couldn't get any other nonstop flights from that area to Dublin, and we had to go to this small airport in the middle of nowhere. And that's how they kind of keep their prices low. They work at smaller airports that have lower fees for their carriers. They're the only ones on that route, so they don't have competitors driving down their prices, and then they don't have to offer the best experience. Like if you look at Ben makes a great point. If you look at their Twitter for Ryanair, they're like, I don't care if you're complaining, whatever, that's your problem. We know you'll be back because we're the only ones that fly this flight and we're cheap. So you're going to come back. And that's kind of what Allegiant has really tapped into, and a couple others. And Spirit's focus and Frontiers and probably Southwest too is, all right, we're going to go on these routes that the other ones are on, and we're just going to charge less and we'll get people that way. Well, that doesn't work, as your pilots and everybody negotiates higher rates, and as everything increases, you don't really have room to wiggle out. Plus, all of them added basic economy to kind of fight with you and take away your customers in that respect too.
And then there's the credit card angle. They can't compete with the bigger airlines on the credit card space because of alliances. People want to take their dream trip to Paris or to Japan. And these low cost carriers, despite the fact that they did have some international routes, they're not making the kind of money off of their loyalty programs that American, Delta, United are. And that's a huge difference in the business model there. But I think Ben had a great stat that I had never seen before. Ryanair cost them about 7 cents per passenger mile. Spirit was at 12 cents per passenger mile. So they're not even compatible in the cost aspect. And as you said, Allegiant is doing a very good job on that smaller market stuff that Ryanair did. But this is terrible. I mean, I just want to say losing Spirit is terrible for consumers. It's terrible for what it's going to do to prices. It's terrible for sort of the wider mindset, and gives us nobody to make fun of anymore. I mean, everybody loved those videos.
I mean, Frontier is still there for the taking. I'm sure that the world will provide. Don't worry. All those Spirit passengers are going to end up somewhere. So they'll be fighting in front of a Delta flight or a United flight or whatever. It's not going to change. It's not like they're like, oh, Spirit's gone, I'm just going to take the bus. As much as some people probably wish that was the case, I think that there's still going to be airport fight videos. Travel is a stressful time, and people don't always know all the rules. Maybe they'll be less upset because they're not getting charged all these fees or whatever last minute, but it will still be out there. Yeah, like you said, this will cause prices to rise. There's less seats available to us on certain routes, although we've already felt that a bit because Spirit has pulled back so much on their route network. I mean, we were talking on the Vegas show, and you had mentioned that they used to be the second most flown carrier into Vegas, and now they weren't even top 5 because they had cut back so much there. So, and I've seen that myself because the prices to go to Vegas out of Detroit have been insane the last year or so, and Spirit used to be a way to get there very cheaply.
Well, now go look now, Mark. Go look now that they're gone.
I don't want
can't
to.
imagine it's I can't imagine it's a pretty thing, and that's why everybody should care. And this we've talked ad nauseum about people hating on budget carriers for no reason, and also talked about how they're all becoming the same anyway. And that's really what's happened as the low cost carrier model doesn't work here as well. I don't know what else to say. We're on here every week, but the prices of travel are getting crazy, and they're going to get crazier. And because of the way that programs have adapted over the last 10 years, they can charge us more for just about everything. It's not like, oh, they're locked into an award chart anymore. And so I think that this is going to be a challenging travel environment over the next, I mean, it already has been, I feel like, for years now, as we've tried to, as the whole world sort of rebalanced itself, right? I mean, we still talk about Tokyo hotels and how they're all insane. Well, that's not going to go back to the way it was before. But I don't. I feel like the days of the $20 cheap flight are gone for now.
It might be for a bit, and I think once the oil prices stabilize, if they ever do, or when they do, it will go back a bit. But a lot of these extra fees they've tacked on will are here to stay. Likely, businesses aren't once people get used to paying things, they're not used to taking them back. Although some airlines, like we talked about, I think it was Japan Airlines, had said, "Hey, we're doing this only until this date, and then we'll reassess," which is cool. But I don't think anybody of the U.S. big three are going to do that. This is a wake up call to all the low cost carriers. They need to come up with a different plan of attack, and maybe they need to become an alliance together and work with partnerships and allow you to use their miles to book other airlines for the routes that they don't fly. We see it all the time with American and Alaska working together, things like that. Why can't Frontier and Allegiant do something similar where you can, hey, use my miles to book over there? That makes their program more approachable, makes their program more worth earning miles in, sells more credit cards, all those things. I mean, we see it in all businesses. Smaller independents join a buying group to get a discounted price on things that they can't get, that only big competitors can get because they're buying at volumes that these little guys can't. But when they all get together, when there's 50 different companies, they get together and purchase together, they get those same discounts. And that gives them the competitive advantage to compete at the highest levels. I think that these airlines need to do something similar. They can't just lone wolf it anymore.
This episode is brought to you by Melio Business Payment Services. We have a special $200 cashback offer for you.
$200 cash back for a payment of $500 or more is still around, still available to our loyal listeners and readers. Melio is a business to business payment system. If you're a business owner and you have a vendor that only takes cash or check, this is a great opportunity for you to earn some credit card rewards points on those payments. It's a great set it and forget it system where if you just are making the same payment every month, you can do it. They'll just mail it out for you. But take advantage of the offer. Check out the system, kick the tires on it. Well worth it.
The link is down in the description. Super easy offer, lucrative. Thanks to everybody who signed up with our link.
It's a great way to support the show. We appreciate all of you that have.
It's getting scary out there. It's also scary as a consumer, Mark, because of all the data tracking going on. And when you go to a website we don't know, and there was a lawsuit this week against JetBlue alleging that they are price fixing. And this all stems from a tweet. And that seems like it was just a mistake from a JetBlue employee. I did some digging into this, and it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of evidence. But the tweet, basically, the person is saying, hey, I'm going to a funeral. The price of the flight went up $230 between yesterday and today. And then the JetBlue employee told them to use incognito mode, wipe their cookies and stuff. So now they're alleging that JetBlue is charging different prices for different customers. And some of the allegations are that they're using software on their website to track you and track your behavior. I hate to tell you, but almost every major website's doing that these days. But there is zero evidence that I could find or that I could find presented in this lawsuit that said that JetBlue actually charged different prices to different people.
Yeah, how wild would that be if they have an AI bot that scrubs your social media and sees that you had a death in the family? So then oh, he's got to fly or she's got to fly this route at this day. Let's show them this price. Oh man, that would be that would be terrible and insane. Maybe that's where we're going. I'm sure it's illegal, but that's scary stuff. I don't think that this is any different than what we've all witnessed when you search a route a couple times, your price goes up, you wait a day, it drops back down. And maybe that happens to everyone just because they see an uptick in searches. But this is a phenomenon that we've all experienced, whether it's award flights or cash flights. If you do a couple searches, you know that you're going to get jammed up.
But the point, I think, is that you might be jamming up the price for yourself, but also the other person looking for that flight at the same time as you is going to get presented the same price. So are they definitely changing? Well, the other part of this, and there's been other lawsuits in real estate and there's some about these algorithmic databases, and they do submit their pricing data to this coalition, I suppose, on pricing that all the airlines are using. And so there's some other aspects of this lawsuit that say, hey, you can't, this is collusion. So, I mean, these algorithms are working against us. These companies are tracking everything that you do. And we do need data protections that are just non-existent these days. We don't have lawmakers who, I guess this is the political show, Mark, but we don't have lawmakers who even know anything that's going on. And yet they have this robust technology that's tracking us everywhere, building complex profiles of who we are and what we do, and we have no idea what they're doing. And I think that this is an expression of that. Even if I don't believe for 1 second JetBlue charged different prices, but man, do they know a lot about you.
I do think that there could be something with the collusion portion of this and how they're sharing information or pricing and all of that. I think maybe that's what we get out of this, or something comes of it. That would be monumental if that is the case, and they kind of break that up. And it's annoying if they are doing that, because all of the scrubbing sites we've ever seen, like Southwest used to have, we used to have the one that would scrub Southwest Airlines, and they would say, hey, your price has dropped, and Southwest sues them all into oblivion every time. If you're doing that with your competitors, oh man, you guys should all owe us billions.
Can we move on for a second? Let's just I love this next story, Mark. Bringing a robot on a jet. This is the future. We're talking about data tracking, all the negative sides of the future, but soon you're going to have your own pet robot or your own
How's this the
little
future?
robot.
This isn't positive. This is what's going to kill you in the future.
But it's so cute on the Southwest flight. So like this guy shows up to fly Southwest, and he has his robot, and I guess they had to figure out what is the protocol for bringing a robot. He bought it its own seat, but they said he had to take out the battery.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want that fire starting. We talked about that last week too. That's those lithium batteries are probably huge, so that could be a problem. I'm sure they weren't the 100 wattage or whatever the hell they said it had to be under. But yeah, it'd be kind of crazy. I wouldn't mind having a robot that doesn't move, say anything, sitting next to me. This would be like the perfect middle seat passenger. They don't take up a lot of space. All right, yeah, as long as I get to sit next to it, I'm cool with it.
When is it? How long before somebody claims it's their service animal? I mean, come on. You don't want to pay for an extra ticket.
Do you want a metal robot sitting on your lap the whole flight?
It's my lap child. It's my lap child. I don't know. I mean, this is the world that we're living in, and it's wild. It's just absolutely wild. But I thought these pictures just gave me a chuckle. But also giving me a chuckle, Mark, is Benjy's article about cheap travel items, because I've never seen Benjy wear a tank top.
Yeah, that's the one that really stuck with me too. I didn't know Benjy was suns out, arms out. I can't say the saying because of YouTube, but suns out, pew pew out. But well, buns for a man, I guess.
So this is his list of his cheap or free travel items. He has like a plastic bag from Target. Actually, those Target plastic bags are really good. They're like thicker. They work good. And we always travel the plastic bag, whether it's for laundry or other stuff. Cheap flip flops because he doesn't want to get his feet dirty. This Dollar Travel toothbrush that he has. He brings plastic cutlery because he doesn't want to have to go find cutlery when he gets. At first, I was judging this. I'm going to be honest. I was judging this when I saw this at first, and then as he lays out his reasoning. Yeah, but as he lays out his reasoning, I'm like, he has a point.
Maybe if it was like metal ones that you bring or something, or the bamboo one, I don't know. But I have the fold up toothbrush. I think that's the greatest thing that I've added in a while. I used to have like a bamboo toothbrush that I got off Rebate Key. Rest in peace, Rebate Key. It's still a company, but I don't think anybody uses it much anymore. But I got it for like $2. It was a $25 toothbrush. Thought that was cool, but it took up a decent amount of space. With the fold up one, takes up like no space. And like you, I usually have a bag, but I put my like slide sandals in there so they're not getting my clothes dirty inside my backpack. And then I'll use it on the way back, either put my shoes in there or wet clothes if you're swimming, things like that. It is useful to have one of those with you, but I'm not bringing silverware with me. I'm sorry.
What about a forever stamp? What about a forever?
No,
this is the greatest article of all time.
1929 mail. Hey, let me send you a postcard because text messages don't work anymore.
So this is why Benjy's smarter than us. He's retired. He's fire and all of that. It's because he probably bought like a boatload of forever stamps when they were like 20 cents, and now he has his collection.
Well, don't you only get so long before you have to add like extra stamps to make the cost? Or am I misremembering?
No, it's a forever stamp. Yeah, it's one that you could buy.
Used to be a thing, right? Where you'd have to like add like a 15-cent stamp after like 6 months.
Yeah, with the normal stamp, but the forever stamp is you buy it today and it's good. So you pay a little bit more, I think, and then it's good forever. So you don't ever have. So in 30 years from now, theoretically, you could still use it, whatever the cost is then. So
instead of a end of the world bunker full of like pasta, he's got forever stamps in his bunker.
but he brings them for any hotel stationery or card that he picks up during his
Yeah.
travel. I'm guessing he sends his
I thought he was
daughters and
gonna
wife
say like, "Hey, in case
postcards.
I need to mail out a check last minute or something." I didn't think it'd be like to send out a postcard. Oh my gosh, Benji, I love you.
Yeah, this is a great list. I will put a link down in there. A lot of it is very good. Having snacks. How
Yeah.
many times have you gotten into a hotel room after like a long day of travel and you don't want to go get something to eat and there's nothing in there to eat and you just need something? And I think just small things like that, or the plastic bag is another great example. Just the utility of it. Mark, using it for his flip flops or whatever as well. So you're using it for multiple reasons. And a lot of that is a lot of the inspiration for the list, even if we are making light of it in some ways. I mean, I never thought about bringing a stamp. I will admit that.
All I know is the next MTM Diamond meetup, Benji better be in a tank top. But no, I never thought about the rest of it. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. And a lot of it we both do. The stamp one kind of caught me by surprise, for sure. But what are some of the cheap things that you bring? Like I always buy a cheap charger that has like 3 or 4 ports coming out of it, so I can charge multiple devices. Or the worst thing is if you bring something new and you're like, oh crap, I don't have the right charger for that. Or if your friend needs it to borrow it and you're like, well, this is for the old iPhone, you have the new one. So that's one. And then another thing I used to have that I lost, I left it on the flight, was like this. It was designed by a flight attendant, and I think it's like $15 or $20 on Amazon, so not super cheap, but cheap enough. And it's like a rectangle metal thing that you can bend in place so you can hook it over your tray, and then it will hold your phone so you can watch it from that. And that's what I love about American with their seats, that they have that drop down thing to put your phone in. I wish every airline had that instead of the in-flight entertainment at this point. But that was nice if I wanted to watch my own show or do whatever on Delta, etc. I could just fold that up and make it sit, or you can use it and bend it and have it on your actual fold down tray.
Yeah, it's funny. I used to have a lot of crap that I would carry with me or little things, and over the years, I've done less of it. So I have a good international travel adapter that and by the way, there's some on Amazon. They're so skinny now, the way compared to the way they used to be. As you point out, multiple
Oh, the
ports.
big
So
fatty.
yeah, I have a big fat one, but I just bought a new one like late last year, an Anchor one that's like half the thickness of the old one, and it has USB-C, USB-A, a regular plug built in, so everything built into one will also work while I travel. And I do leave my bag. I have a bit of a travel bag, so all of my I have toiletries that just stay there. I have electronics like chargers and stuff that just stay there, so I'm not having to scrounge for everything else. And yeah, I mean, we used to have like things to like wash clothes and I mean all kinds of crazy stuff that we don't really carry anymore. We just if you need something, you just go buy it.
I do like I subscribe to the double everything as well. Like whatever I have an extra laptop charger, everything in my bag, so I just know it's there when I'm ready to go. I have my Fitbit charger, like duplicates of everything, so that I can just grab it and go. What I did learn once, I forgot to bring headphones, so I said never again. I bought some of these like JLab mini headphones that are on a keychain, and I just hook that right to my bag and just leave it on there at all times, so that I always have that pair of headphones. And those are the ones that I sleep with if I'm in business class laying on my side, because they don't really stick out of my ear. And those are the ones that I lost one when the plane stopped landing in Istanbul and it ran away. I don't know. The case came open and one fell out and I couldn't find it, but it was only like a $30 pair of headphones. So, okay, not the end of the world if you lose that. So I love that aspect of it. I can't encourage people enough to have that like backup low profile set of cheap headphones.
I have exactly the same thing. I just keep it in my electronics bag. Speaking of headphones, one other thing I do is, when they hand out, you're on a plane and they hand out the free headphones, I'll collect a couple
Oh
of
yeah,
those and I have those in my
I got
bag
those.
too. So I'm always carrying those around. So yeah, just those little sorts of things that you can pick up. And if you have sometimes you're in a fancy hotel, they have really good toiletries and really good toothbrushes and toiletry kits and shaving cream and whatever. So if you find something like that, do it as well. But I just want to keep
I have
things
a
as simple as possible.
I have a Conrad bottle opener because I was like, oh, this would be useful. It was small, it was cheap, but I put it in there and I use it all the time when I'm traveling, because you go to a room and they don't have one. and you're like, crap, how do I open this bottle that I bought or whatever? So have a cheap little, maybe it's a keychain, bottle opener is always useful.
And then I'm very bougie when it comes to pens, Mark. I always, of course, have pens. We all do. But I only take the best pens. When I go to a hotel, I go check the pen. If it's like plasticky or not, like it has to be like metal, cold to the touch. And then I travel with the fanciest pens.
If you ever find a good one, do you go to the front desk and be like, hey, can I have another pen?
Can I get a card to fill out with my forever stamp? So with my calligraphy.
I expect a postcard next time he's traveling.
Exactly. He's never sent us anything. I want a postcard of him, yeah, in his tank top, wearing his flip flops, with his plastic bag and his portable toothbrush. Yeah, it's a great article.
He's like Jack Reacher. He just walks around with a toothbrush in his pocket and a forever stamp in his wallet. That's all he needs.
Hopefully we could bring you some laughter on this day where we have lost Spirit Airlines. A big kerfuffles going on in the world, and something to laugh about. But let us know down in the comments, what are the cheap, free things that you bring with you on your trips, things that maybe other people haven't thought about, like a tank top. And Spirit Airlines, the JetBlue lawsuit. Leave a comment down below. We do 2 shows a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll be back in a couple days with another show. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.
Oh, some thermal underwear just in case. I don't know. Have a good week, everybody.
The captain has turned on the seatbelt light. Please take your seats and fasten your